Hey, this is Matt from NorCal Bushcraft.
Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a cobra braid or cobra weave bracelet, survival bracelet. And I'm showing here in front of you are just a few of the different ones that I've made so far. The cobra braid, this is just a single cobra braid. There is a core that's in the middle of this that is just wrapped back and forth. Here's two singles. This is a double cobra braid. That's just another cobra braid over the single. So this is the double here. And this is a leg. I call this a tribal band. When I was in the Philippines, a lot of the tribal people would wear a type of vine. It's a brown in color with beads on it right below their knee and above their calf. And I'll go ahead and put this one on and show you what it looks like. I'm actually also making a bunch of these for Christmas for friends and family, and I'm making one for my sister's dog. We just tried this one on the dog earlier today and it fit great, so I'm going to make one just for the heck of it. So this is the cobra braid. And this is the cobra braid as a leg band. A lot of people say it looks like a garter. I kind of agree it does. But just with traditional Filipino tribal people wear, it's a thinner vine that's really tough, and they put it on, and as it gets wet and it gets dry, it shrinks. But there it is, simply there. There's the locking mechanism, and there's about, I think there's somewhere around 13 feet of paracord. So it's just kind of a cool way to carry paracord. So the items you'll need to make the cobra braid survival bracelet: I like to use 2 carabiners, a lighter for burning the ends, some kind of knife or scissors, and a tape measure, or a tape measure. Alright, to start your bracelet, you're going to want to measure out how big you want it to be. And so to do that, you just take and double over a piece of paracord, put your wrist in the middle, and then just bring it over to your desired amount. Now, you're going to be tying a knot at the end of your paracord, so you're going to want to add a little bit more, probably another inch or 2, to your paracord, and then go ahead and cut it. Okay, so let's tie a knot in the end of this strand. Now this is going to be the core piece of the bracelet. Okay, just a simple overhand knot, and you just want to pretty it up. This here on my other bracelet, just make it look really nice. Don't tighten it just yet. Go ahead and bring it over and make sure you figure out your length before you officially make that knot. Okay, this one is a little bit loose, so I'm going to move the knot over. So just go ahead and play with it and adjust it and just remember, you will have, depending on how thick you make it, you will have some thickness to that, so that will give, so you want to make it a little bit looser than what you want it. Give it some playroom. Alright, so I've got the bracelet stretched between 2 carabiners. I got my knot in there. Just leave those tag ends there, so if you want to shorten or lengthen your knot at all, you'll have room to do that. We'll cut off everything at the end. And so what we're going to do is we're going to measure the length of the bracelet. Just go from the knot to the other end. It's about 8 inches. And what you want to do, a rule of thumb, is if you're doing a single braid, for every inch you want a foot of paracord. So I have 8 inches, I need 8 feet for the single. And then to double that up, to make the double paracord bracelet, you just double it up and it'll be 16. The first thing that we're going to do is to add the locking system. This is a piece, just about 3 knots of paracord, And what I do is I just slip it over the knot, and then I just slide that up, and it just cinches that down. Okay? So that's my locking system that I use for my bracelets. It's simple, everything's made out of paracord, and it's just the way I like to do it. A lot of people will use those plastic snaps, or they'll just do the loop by itself. I like this sliding. I just kind of figured this out by accident, and it's worked really great. So let's go ahead and do that. You will take, I take about a foot. You probably don't even need that much, maybe like 7 inches. But what we're going to do is we're going to start at the non-knot end, so where the loop is, and we're going to figure out about where we want to make this piece. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and just put this on. What you do is to make the cobra braid, I'm going to do 3 knots for this locking piece. You just slide it underneath, and then you take one end, doesn't matter, either end, you fold it over the core piece, and then you take the opposite side, go over and under, and then back up through the eye of the other side. So there you go, right there. It's kind of similar to it's pretty much a square knot. Okay, we want to make these, when you get into a single bracelet, you're going to want it to be even. This one's not too far off, so I'll just leave it the way it is. I'll be cutting the tag ends off anyways. I'm not going to make this, when you get down to actually making it, you want to make it tight, but here I'm going to just kind of little finger tighten it, not that tight. Now I'm going to make 3 of these, so starting from the opposite side, I'm going to cross over again, and you're going to go over with the other side, underneath, and back up, and pull it together, and just kind of push the knots together to make it nice. I'm going to zoom in here for this last one. Alright. So again, now to go to the other side, the side that this last knot is on, you're going to start there, cross it over, and then you go over that piece underneath. Can you see that? Underneath, and then back up through that eye, and then pull it tight. Some of my bracelets I've made with longer, I've made with like, it looks like about 4 or 5, but I found that 3 is just enough. Alright, we're going to cut this tag end off here, just above the knot. Okay, and then you're going to take your lighter and just melt that piece. Alright, you don't want to get too close to the knot, you don't want to fray that knot, and I just lick my finger and dab it in. Okay, and what that happens is it just melts right into the knot, so it holds together really nice. Alright, now we just want to make sure we measure out the amount of the loop that the knot will be going through, and basically what you can do is just take your knot and pass it through and see how that works. Now since I'm doing a double braid here, I'm going to want to start my bracelet lower than it actually is. I want to leave room for 1 knot, because once we do the single braid, and then when we go in to do the double braid and to end it up, we'll be doing about 1 or 2 knots right at the end. So since I've already done this with another one, I can just measure it up, and I'm going to start about right here with my paracord.